Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another tag video for you. We are doing the College Life book tag. I was tagged by Kales from KalesKorner to do this tag, and I will link her video as well as the creators in the thingamabobbin down below, so you can check them both out if you would like to do this tag as well. I'm not in college. Well, I mean, I'm taking a couple summer classes, but I'm not in like college as of right now. But I should be graduated, and I'm not. So I was in college at one point, so I understand some of these pains that come with being a college student. There are 8 questions, so let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1, dorm room, a book or series that could use a big improvement. I chose Divergent by Veronica Roth because if you watched my channel, you probably know that I was obsessed with Divergent and I loved it so very much when I initially read it, and I read Insurgent, and I still was feeling the love for the series, and then I read Allegiant, and everything about the series is now ruined for me. I will never have the same love and appreciation for the series that I did originally. I actually just try my best to block Legion out of my brain. I just pretend it's not even in existence anymore because I hate it that much. I think that she could have ended the series so much better. I think that she could have built in all of the world building that she dropped in our laps in the 3rd book, incorporated it into the first 2 books a whole lot better than throwing it at us in the last book of the series. I don't like the way that she twisted the world and how it all came out in the end. I don't like what she did with the Divergent as a whole. In general, the series had so much potential and it was going such amazing places, and in the 3rd book, when everything started to come together, I was so disappointed with it. She could have just revised the entirety of Allegiant. We could have had a much better series. Question number 2, roommates. A book or series you wanted to like, but found yourself getting slightly annoyed. For this one, I chose Me, Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. I had heard so much hype about this book and how funny and unique and witty and just light it was, and I was disappointed by this book. I didn't like it as much as I was hoping I would. So many people hyped it up to be really funny, and I agree it has funny moments. There were things in it that made me laugh out loud, but I wouldn't consider this book as a whole funny. It's catered to a very specific type of humor, although I do typically like pretty much any kind of humor. I'm pretty open-minded to what I consider humorous. I wouldn't say this book is funny when I'm describing it to somebody. I'd say this book has funny moments, but it's written really strangely, is probably how I'd preface the story. I really wanted to like it, but I found myself getting annoyed in certain aspects of this book and just wanting to kind of move on. Question number 3, 8 a.m. class. A book you wanted to skip or be done with as quickly as possible. I'm currently taking an 8 a.m. class during the summer. That sucks. I do not like waking up early every day to go to class for statistics. Getting the feeling that these questions are slightly negative. For this one, I chose The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. I just want to skip this book at this point. Would it be okay to skip this book and move on to The Silver Chair? Can I do that? Because I've read this book, well, I've started this book 4 times at this point, and I haven't yet finished it. And I just want it to be over with, and I want it to be done, and I want to move on. I don't like this book. I think it's boring. They're on a ship for the majority of the book, and it's not a very eventful ship. It's not very interesting, and I'm at this point just ready to move on with the series because I would love to know what happens and how this ends and, you know, where the world goes, but you can't read the next book until you finish this book, and unfortunately I can't finish this book because it's boring. Question number 4, all-nighter. A book that kept you up all night. I had far too many all-nighters in college. I mean, that was like a weekly occurrence for me. What was sleep? I didn't know. This one I chose Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. I got this book for Christmas my freshman year of college, so 2010. I don't know when this book actually came out, but that's when I was reading this series. Sat down at like 7 p.m. and started this book, and I did not put the book down until 7 a.m. So I read this book for 12 hours straight. I loved this book. I just love how these books feel. Question number 5, debt. A book you really want but can't get at the moment. I really want to start reading comic books. I have always been interested in comic book adaptations, whether it be TV or movies, and I've always wanted to get into them. But first of all, it's extremely intimidating to try to get into comic books because they've been in circulation since like the 50s or 60s, and there are so many issues and spin-offs and versions of things that I just don't even know where to start half the time. When I went to Barnes & Noble like a month ago to finally pick one up, they're expensive. Trade paperbacks are expensive. It's $20 for a tiny little bind-up of like, I don't know how many comics are in it. But for one volume, it's $20. That's a lot of money for something that's so tiny. I really want to get into them, but they're really expensive and intimidating. I don't really know where to start. I want to read Marvel Comics in like the worst way. Question number 6, study group. A book you want to buddy read with somebody. I would pretty much buddy read any book with anybody. However, I would really like to read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin with somebody, because I've had this book since Christmas and I always hear people talk about it and I'm like, oh, I really want to read that. But when it comes time to make my TBRs, I always forget about it. I think I'm kind of intimidated by it, to be honest. I've heard it's a little scary and a little bit psychological and can be a little bit hard to follow, and so I think I'm just intimidated to pick it up. Maybe if I had somebody to read it with, I wouldn't be as intimidated by it and I could kind of discuss it if I got confused with somebody else. But I really want to read this because I've heard such great things about this series, and people say that they, fly through this book because it is so gripping. I think I need somebody to give me the little push to do it. Question number 7, Caffeine. A book that kept you interested and on the edge of your seat. Oh, Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. Everybody was telling me that there was a major twist that happens at the end of this book that sets everything in motion, and I was waiting to get to that point in this book. Let me tell you, I was a wreck reading the last half of this book. I kind of saw it coming. I was like, oh my gosh, if she actually does this, I give her major props and I'm going to be so sad. And then she did it and I give her major props, but I'm a little bit mind blown and I don't really know how to feel about it. I feel like too much feels. Question number 8, New Friends, a new to you book that you will always love. For this one, I chose Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I just read this year in February and I am so just enamored with the story, and it's so adorable and just touching. I love this story so much that I think I will always recommend it to people and I will always love it. This is a book where the hype is well deserved. It is just as cute and touching and moving and funny as everybody says it is, and I loved this book so much and I will always consider this book to be one of my most favorite contemporary books, and it is a book that I just heard about through BookTube this past year, and I love you. I love you so much. We match today. Can you see the matchiness? And that was the last question. If you want to do this tag, I tag you to do it. Whether you're in college or not, I don't think it matters. We can all relate to these things in some way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you very soon. Bye! Holy crap, I did that in 13 minutes. I don't think I've ever filmed a video in 13 minutes. I don't know, that's like a record, and I'm just so excited that I just filmed this in 13 minutes. Happiness.